morning and welcome back to the channel. My name is Shadowcast. Today we're going to start part 2 of Lamplight City. We've shot Bill. He fell off a roof. He's dead. And now he's apparently haunting us. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started.
That was the idea.
Come now, you don't really mean that.
Believe me, I do.
Nothing makes me happier than being haunted.
Not easy. Bill, I've been hearing your voice since you died. You don't shut up unless I take that accursed medicine. I'd say that qualifies as a bit more than not easy.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel? You think I enjoy being trapped here, listening to you whine about how hard your life's become? You at least still have yours.
I feel like you're making me go insane.
I'm losing my grip on reality, and it's all because of you.
Believe me, I know. It's not a pretty situation. But the bottom fact is, you're stuck with me. So you can either keep living this way and ruin your life even more than you already have, or you can do as I've told you and try to figure out a way to let me move on.
Yes, I know. We'll find the burglar from the flower shop.
Right. For the 1000th time, you want me to find the burglar from the flower shop.
Yes, exactly.
I still don't get how that's going to help.
I can understand your confusion, considering it was you who killed me. But the point remains. You wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if not for him. Once the criminal has been caught and is in custody, we'll both get what we want.
Revenge, justice, a decent night's sleep, justice?
Justice?
More than that, you'll have that elusive thing you always wanted to give others.
A decent night's sleep.
You do realize the trail's pretty much frozen at this point. Our man has seemingly vanished into the ether.
That's no excuse not to keep trying. I know the cases Upton's been giving you these past few months haven't been the most thrilling, but they've at least kept you active. So just keep at it. Something has to turn up eventually. Unless, of course, you want to wind up in Riverview Asylum.
Not the asylum.
I'm really not going to keep quiet.
Fine.
Good man. Now, I suggest you stop talking to thin air.
A good ghost threatens their hauntee by
just maybe just
insanity.
Very funny.
I also threaten my hauntee with insanity. You're welcome, loading dad mode, even though I know you don't watch my videos. I will make you insane. Alright, where are we going? Bed?
Don't worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having your private time.
What the fuck?
It would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music. Remember before you started taking that medicine and you could actually read a book for more than 10 minutes before falling asleep? You were a lot more fun to talk to back then. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
Never.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind.
I'm pretty sure I know every detective show or book that I have partaken in has had a brooding detective in a long black coat, because those are the best detectives. I want a brooding detective. I want a detective just torn up with guilt.
It's admirable
because I'm a
just how
horrible
organized
person.
Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you. Pretty, but I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell anymore.
All right, we'll leave the bedroom. I guess there's nothing here for us.
Well, look who's awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Very much so.
You were talking in your sleep again.
Did I say anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific last night.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast down. I saved you some bread and cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't much help to you.
She's right, you know.
By the way, a message arrived.
That's why
from the courier
my
for you this
content
morning.
is shitty.
I put it on the table along with today's newspaper.
Thank you, dear.
Just kidding. I ate an entire bag of donuts and drank a Monster. I could run miles right now. Just kidding again.
How are your parents doing these
I'm not
days?
running
It's
anywhere.
been ages since you wrote them.
I don't run at all. What are we looking for? Newspaper? Remembering the boat. Gascon. Grand Dame dies. Laura Dupree. Aged 44. This fucking vaccines probably killed her. Am I right? Am I right? Ethericity. It's real and it's coming, says scientist. Second bizarre murder baffles police. Okay, I guess we don't. Fordham, a big case has come in which I think will interest you. Meet me at the Raven Row Coffee House for more details. Captain Upton.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No.
Well, we know how
Upton, always on
out
a
of the
need-to-know
ordinary this
basis,
game is, besides the
especially
flying
since she's
Zeppelin
been
in the
giving me
last
these cases
episode.
under the table.
There's
To
a
be
woman
fair,
in
they haven't
charge.
exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why she's so secretive about it.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at work.
Anyway, I'm supposed to meet her at the Ruin Coffee House. That can't be
Ruin.
right.
God.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in somehow.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
I can't pronounce these words.
Have a lovely day, Addie.
I wish you'd let me fix your hair before you go out like that.
It'll be fine.
We're going to the Ruin Coffee House. You know what sounds good?
Ah, the Ruin
Coffee.
House.
Because nothing
Worst
makes a
job in
monster
Lamplight
and
City,
donut
but
high better
there's no better place to
than
overhear
coffee.
all the rumors and gossip in town. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons. Discretion was never your forte.
Constance, a big girl.
If it isn't my old friend, up to no good.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got
She's
time
not in
to get
charge.
into that
Okay,
now.
it's more in
I'll
line
take
with
some
what I was
advice.
thinking.
Don't order anything that isn't water.
I got your message. What's going on? If
I
I
got
can
your
click
message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
Laura Dupre. That name sounds familiar. She just died.
Pray. She's one of those Gascon Grand Dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types of people.
It was in the
I
newspaper.
don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
It's a fast funeral.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupre's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do
Martin's being framed.
Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
Wait, so women aren't allowed in coffee shop? Like, I know that we just learned some more information, but women aren't allowed in coffee shops? Coffee shops? But there's a woman serving them. Are women just not allowed to drink coffee? Why not just
Why not
ask her?
just ask Madame Dupre herself?
She hasn't spoken since the ordeal. Apparently, she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
Straight out of Compton.
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse. right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation.
That's fine, computer. Just do whatever the fuck you want. I don't even know what you're yelling at me about. I'm sure it's something stupid.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
Well, hey, you've got an update. Let's force another Windows update on you, so everything else will break. It's fine. I'm not bitter about the Windows updates. Yes, I had a couple of questions.
Actually, I had a couple of questions.
Let's hear them then.
Herself. Wow, he looks like shit.
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
No.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you.
Because no one will hire me.
I know you're taking a risk to do it.
Please, somebody give me a job that doesn't require me talking to people directly or on the phone.
Between us could be improved, if I'm being honest.
That's why I like recording videos, because it's like I'm talking to people, but I'm really just talking to myself.
You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
Bill's death.
I suppose there are other developments regarding Bill's murder.
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority.
Mostly because we know who killed him.
That it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
I shot him.
Nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course, there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
Snelling's a
But the man
bitch.
who really caused Bill's death is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Bretagne may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know. I'll do the same if I find anything out.
See, she has a priority straight. We could learn a lot from Upton.
We can learn a lot from Upton.
That's
Alright,
what I think.
that's fine.
Then you'd better get back to it.
We're done.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
Oh my god. Bill, I didn't realize that when you died you'd be a bigger bitch. Alright, so there's the jail, there's Dupre Manor, there's Martin's home, and there's my house. I'm gonna go talk to... I'm gonna actually go to the Martin's house first.
Ah, Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate anyway?
Please, let's
Yesterday.
not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
I ate a bag of donuts like 10 minutes ago. It was wonderful.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
I need to speak with you about Albert
I
Martin.
need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Good day to you, sir.
Seriously? Really? This is... That's it? Sorry to bother you. How do you know I can't help? What if I find some things? I'll go talk to Martin then. Is this Martin?
Fordham? Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Wow.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see
It's
you
true.
too.
It's true. My hair's a mess.
What brings you around the jail?
And I am
thought you'd
so
quit being a
caffeinated
detective.
right now.
I'm looking
so
to speak to Mr.
caffeinated.
Albert Martin.
But guess what?
Oh,
With
I
you could
see.
do with long hair.
Well, that's
You
him in the
can
first
hang
cell there.
yourself.
I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What? Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
That's
Such a
racist.
charming fellow, isn't he?
Giles a little fuck.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. My name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Do you mind answering a few questions for me?
It's not
Friend,
God
if
that's
it
gonna
means
save
saving
you.
me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing
It's our
less
Dark
than God's
Lord.
truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused.
I can't
of
think of a
using
name for
black
Dark
magic.
Lord. I was gonna come up with something witty, but to be honest, there's way too much caffeine coursing through me and my brain's not firing completely. Madame Dupre.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
What's to
Madame
tell?
Dupre.
She's
My
a
bad.
twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her.
I'm gonna need you to
Her
not
attack
talk
deserves
like that.
Some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin.
Be not threatening the person, you know, like not saying they deserved it, being a little bit, you know, remorseful, even if, you know, her death.
Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
Racist.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Him and the son were
Uh-oh.
fucking.
That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved
Nope, the
with
daughter.
Dupre's
Alright.
daughter, Juliet.
Was hoping to instill some
Dupre
gay
doesn't
intrigue,
like
but
that
no.
one bit. She
Gotta keep
she
it
even
straight.
Threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes, she might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate.
Excuse me.
I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and loving.
Satan
as
is
my
not heartless and
dear
cruel.
Juliet.
Satan just
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
appreciates pleasure. Satan wouldn't be against your guys' love. Just saying. He's all about that carnal lust. That's in the Bible.
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there.
Racist.
Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say. Had the same taste in books and art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand.
She's black.
How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow,
She's
I
not.
wouldn't bet on that.
Bill and I are seeing eye to eye. We know. Bill and I understand. The rich don't care about the poor. Poor don't care about the poor. Nobody cares about the poor. I don't care about us. I
How
don't
did you
care
end
about
up in
myself.
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
Well, she kicked me out of your house, mother.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She deals
She's
with
a
the dark
spiritualist.
magic.
Not quite. She's more like... how can I...
Voodoo
explain
priestess?
it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people?
Oh my goodness.
mother
If they
holds
bring up
services and
voodoo.
calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
Of a sort.
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
Does it have a name, or is it voodoo? Because there's two very different things going on here. Is it voodoo because they're black, or is it something else that people are just claiming is voodoo?
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we were involved in devil worship and the black arts. But
I'll let the developer get away with it then.
This is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
That's all for now.
Oh, wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
Okay.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do. Welcome to my home.
Obviously. I mean, she's got a picture of fucking Mother Mary.
I understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message.
Meant let the cop inside the house.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
Alright. What are we looking at?
A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. The Virgin Mary. I must admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here. That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Oh, she's gorgeous. It's very well done.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
Ooh, she's angry.
What mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
Madame
Do
Dupre.
you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for polite conversation.
She a bitch.
But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
Do I have more enemies than I let on? Juliet.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded
Where
to
are
be
we
a
at?
decent
Are we
soul.
in
It's a
Louisiana?
shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Nobody has a Louisiana accent going on. Like, where is this?
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
I just assumed it was
Saint
like
Roch is the
somewhere
patron
in the
saint of dogs,
Midwest.
as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Makes sense.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
Unless you're
True.
accused of murder.
If mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Ugh!
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead.
Well, at
It's
least they're
about healing
fucking instilling
and life.
some kind of knowledge
Naturally,
into
there are
this.
misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
Alright, ask for tea?
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
I'm gonna snoop. I'm a snoop.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin. I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I
I'm
can.
gonna press her on it. I'm gonna press her on her voodoo. Back room?
About
She's gonna be
that back
pissed.
room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Actually, never. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
Can I?
I'm afraid that room is private.
Of course.
Well,
Aren't you going to have your tea, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into. Perhaps later.
Suit yourself.
alright. What's this? University of New Bretagne. Alright, let's go to the manor first.
You are aware this is private property, sir?
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupre. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly.
Wow, my face is blown out.
My
Hello?
apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
Alright, we'll go in and talk to the son. Maybe the daughter will be around, or she might be at the university. Oh, the son looks like a fucking treat.
Are you the new servant?
Oh,
No,
great.
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking
What if the
into
son's in
attempted
love with
murder.
Martin?
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them. Not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes. Well, I'll have a look around, and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him.
He's a bit of a fop, isn't he? Is that a bird?
Parrot. Must have cost the Dupre's a cool copper. Do you suppose that's for the bird? Or perhaps so the Dupre family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house? Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
Kitchen upstairs. Kitchen first. I'll go talk to him in a bit. Want to snoop a little bit. See how the other half lives. Servant.
Pardon me, miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupre.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
Do you know anything about what happened with
Do you know
Madame
anything
Dupre?
about what happened to Madame Dupre?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
All right, I'm going.
You know what? Before we really get to snooping, I'm going to call it here for this episode just because I don't want them to be overly long. I want you to be able to sit down and enjoy them. We really haven't discovered anything other than voodoo is possibly involved. But, yeah. So I'm going to call it here. There will be, obviously, a part 3. I'm really enjoying the game so far. I hope you are, too. If you are enjoying this video and my other videos, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. If you click the bell, you'll get notifications when I post more content. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Shadowcast Gaming. I post updates there for streams, new videos, and random life stuff. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.